India's Sherpa at the G20, Amitabh Kant, joining us now. Thanks, Mr. Kant, very much for being with us. My first question to you, how did you manage to get several countries around the world to accept or understand the Ukraine-Russia issue?
Well, Vishnu, this was about close to 200 hours of non-stop negotiations. And, the Bali para had broken down. We were struggling with it for 9 months. So in the Sofa Talk meeting, we just took a plain screen and I scribbled down about 15 principles which we should follow. And then all the Sherpas joined in and gave their perspective on it, and all of them we took. Based on that, we did the first draft, and nobody expected this that we'll arrive at a consensus. Then on the first draft, we had a number of reactions. People were very pessimistic that we could ever arrive at a consensus on the Russia-Ukraine crisis because all multilateral, bilateral forums across the world have failed to arrive at a consensus during the last 1 year. Then from that first draft, we started with that comment. We went to the second draft, we went to the third draft. But I think after that, the bilateral meetings with each country, important thing was to draw the red lines of each country. We drew the red lines of each country, and then we worked on a draft, and then several rounds of negotiations, and with bilaterals with each Sherpa. But I think the important thing that really worked was that I was working in partnership with the Brazilian Sherpa, the South African Sherpa, and finally I got the Indonesian Sherpa together. So it became a joint proposal of 4 emerging markets. And then I roped in Mexico, I roped in Turkey, I roped in all the other Saudi. So all of them joined hands. And because there was so much of pressure from the emerging markets, because our concern was that for us, development, growth issues are far more important than the war issue. So finally, we then negotiated with G7 countries. We then negotiated with Russia. We then negotiated with China. And only last night, I think we gave them the final draft. We took it to the last minute, gave them the final draft. And at that Sherpa meeting, I've told them that this is the final draft, because I've discussed with you in over 200 bilaterals about 5 different drafts. This is the final document which we have produced, which is progressive, which is based on UN principles, UN charters. Either you take it or the deal drops. And I also told them that if anybody has an objection to this, your leader can go and talk to my leader, which is the Prime Minister. So I pulled the weight of the Prime Minister into this at that time. As the Sherpa, I pulled the weight of the Prime Minister. I said, I will not discuss anymore. I've done 200 rounds of discussion. And if your leader feels strongly about it, go and tell the Prime Minister of India. And my leader has given me the direction to do that. This is a perfect draft. And we've taken care of every country's concern. And it's very critical. We will not have a split para. We will not have a footnote. We'll only have a consensus. And that's how it worked. And today morning, all countries fell in line and they all joined and collaborated with us. So that has been the driving force. But I'll tell you the story on another day at greater length, because I have to just zip for another meeting.